Hey everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I thought I'd share with you my favourite evanmoor products for homeschool. So we've used evanmoor pretty much, I'd say, from first grade upwards. I don't think we used it in kindergarten, but I absolutely adore evanmoor products so much. So I'll show you what our favourites, and let's just get started. So the first one is for science, and this one is Science Lessons and Investigations. I used this year, so this is the grade 3 one, and basically it is, as the name suggests, science but in an investigation format. So you have the life science, earth science and physical science categories in the grade 3, and in life science you have things like plant and animal life cycles, adaptations, group social behaviour. For earth science it's weather, climate, natural processes and hazards. There's more, I'm just listing a couple of them. For physical science, changes in movement, predicting motion and patterns, and magnetic forces. And it's set out in the same format throughout. So you have your concept, your lesson objectives, and your learning approach. It's an engage, explore, explain, evaluate, and extend format. So it's just fantastic. So you'll introduce it, and there's all lovely visuals that go along with it. You'll introduce your topic. In this case, it's the plant and animal life cycle. So they've got some animal life cycles for you to look at, and plant cycles. Then there is an experiment. So you're doing plant cycle observation, and you'll fill out your experiment sheet, your observation sheet. Then you analyse everything, what happened during your experiment, and it's just fantastic. So then this is an animal life cycle one. You'll learn vocabulary. There are vocabulary words that go along with it. Lots of pictures, real life pictures. And it's just such a fun way to do it. I just love this book so much. I photocopied it. We didn't write in this one, as you can see. So this is fantastic. I really like this book. So that's the Science Lessons and Investigations. evanmoor do an amazing flip through. You can virtually flip through the whole book. So I will leave my link below to my evanmoor. Well, it's not my evanmoor, but it's my link for evanmoor page, and you can just obviously put in the title of what you're looking for, and it lists, as I said, the actual flip through is amazing. It has pretty much everything on there. The next one we love is the Building Spelling Skills. Now this is the 3rd grade one. I didn't actually use this because we ended up buying Spelling You See, but I did intend initially, I was torn between this and Spelling You See, and I decided in the end to go with Spelling You See. But we used Building Spelling Skills grade 2 in grade 2, and it's fantastic. It is a list format, and then each day you have a different activity that goes along with it, with the actual spelling words. And it's fantastic. It's to the point. There's variety in the little activities, and my daughter did fine with it in grade 2. I just wanted to try out Spelling You See. I'd heard so many great things about it, and I definitely do think that it was the right decision for us to do Spelling You See this year. However, I have no qualms about using Building Spelling Skills in the future at all, and it's something we would definitely consider using again. The next one is pretty much any of the Skills Sharpness series are fantastic, but we love the science ones. This is the Skills Sharpness Science grade 3. In this one you've got life science, physical science and earth science, and different topics throughout. Basically it's really visually, I'm just getting to a chapter we haven't finished yet. It's really visual, so you can see properly. It's really visual. There's little activities that go along with it, beautifully presented, with real photographs as well as illustrations. So many fun, what I love about evanmoor is so many fun little activities that they come up with. They come up with some great ideas to keep things interesting, and the way that it's presented, it's engaging, that your kids straight away is really interested in it. And they have, in this particular series, the Skill Sharpness series, they have a little hands-on activity as well. It could be an experiment, or in this case it's making a postcard. So it's just fantastic. I love it. I don't do it, well, in the past I have done it in order, and this year we just done different sections of it at the time we were studying something. So for example, when she was really into the dinosaurs, we did the dinosaur section. Because it's spring, we've just been doing the life cycle one. We have done some of the adaptations one, adaptations unit. So for the rest of the year I want to do some of the physics one, so forces of motion, gravity, and I also want to get in some of the weather. But yeah, I really like skill sharpener science. It's fantastic. The other one I absolutely love from the skill sharpener series is geography. We've used the geography series for 1st, 2nd and 3rd grade. It's fantastic. Again, in the past, in 1st and 2nd, we just did it in order. This year I dipped into it depending on what topic we were doing in our primary geography series book. And again, it's just really visually appealing, great pictures, so much information, little activities where, you know, they're answering the questions after reading something, doing a little writing activity, or there are some hands-on activities. For example, you got to make the globe out of paper mache, and it's just fantastic. I really like these books so much. And in this one, the topics were, let's see, the world in spatial terms, places and regions, physical systems and human systems. And there was lots of different units within those particular topics, 3 to 4 depending on each topic. So those, I would say, are our core that we've used as in we've used quite a lot out of them, or the whole thing. Now these extras that I want to show you, just things we dip into from time to time, but I still really love them. And the first one is the Write a Super Sentence. This is such a fun little book with lots of engaging activities. So it's based on different topics. So for example, this is the B topic. So it'll have your starter section on this side, where it'll give you words to think about, including in your sentence. And then there are activities that you can go along with. So for example, this one is bees. This one is about leprechauns. So it's different topics throughout, and it's just a little fun book to dip into. And at the back they always have extra resources and little games that you can do. So I really like this one. Write a super sentence. Another one we've dipped into over the years is Draw Then Write, and I like this one because I think I got this in 1st grade. It goes from grade 1 to 3, so every activity has 3 different levels to it. So for example, let's find one. So this one is the grade 1 one. So you've got your picture section, and you've got words already assigned that you can use. Then moving on to the grade 2, there's more required from them. So then they're going to answer some questions, you know, who, what, did, where, when, why, and still doing a picture. And then in the 3rd grade one, they just have a box to draw and then to write, do a free write, and then write what you would do if you met a dragon. So I really like this because this is a book that you can use for 3 years basically. Or if you've got multiple kids, you can, the 1st grader can do the first activity, the 3rd grader could do the last one, so I really do like this one, and I think it's great for families with multiple kids, but also if you want to just reuse it. So I think that's a great one. The other ones that I really like are the Take It to Your Seat centres. So these are, this one is particularly for reading and language, and basically what you do is I got the PDF version. I think you can also get the physical copy too, but you just stick it onto a file folder. File folders are really hard to come by here for some bizarre reason. So I just use the regular flat folders and put all the particulars inside. So there's an envelope in here with the little cards that you need inside. A laminated sheet, which just flew out. There you go, a laminated sheet. I always put the little cards in an envelope, and then I always put the instructions inside the folder too. And these are really fun. It's just nice. So for example, this one is on contractions. So if you were doing a topic on contractions in your language arts curriculum, you could go and get your centre out to go along with it, and I think it just makes it a bit more fun and hands-on. Okay, then the final ones are, just move this out of the way, 2 writing programs they offer. So the first one is text-based writing, and this is really good. I really like this one. So this isn't particularly for non-fiction, and it has let me just get the contents out. So it's split into informative or an explanatory writing prompts and opinion and argument writing prompts, and it's different articles. So for example, there are science articles, health articles, biographies, and it's all different topics. So for example, one science article was on North American owls, and what you were going to do was compare and contrast paragraphs. One article was on the Venus flytrap, and you were going to write a sequence paragraph. One article was on birds migrating, and you were going to write a cause and effect paragraph. So it's different depending on what the topic is, and it's split into, I got the PDF for this one. Again, you can get the physical copy. But so for example, say, let me just find one. Okay, so this unit is on, it's at the end of it. Okay, this unit is on flowers and insects. I'm just going to grab it out. So you can see, just bear with me 1 second. So for this one, right. So we're doing our sequence is a writing prompt in this one. So you'll have your writing, vocabulary, content knowledge, and essential understanding. And in each section, you'll have an activity. So for example, for preparing, you'll have a unit focus and lesson checklist, which is for you. A vocabulary sheet, which you can go over with your child. Then they'll get to read the science article, which in this case is flowers and insects. Then they'll answer questions about the science article. Then they'll organise information in a graphic organiser, and then the last thing is they'll do their writing. So in this case, it's to write a sequence paragraph. So it's all split up like this. You get your two things for you as a teacher, so your two lesson guides, I guess you could say. Then you'll have your unit focus and a little checklist for things for each topic. And then it gets to the student section. So for example, this one is our vocabulary one. So it'll give you the vocabulary word that they'll be using in their story or reading in their story, some words to know, so you can go over it with them before they start their article. Then they'll have their article that they read. So in this case, it's flowers and insects and all about them. So the process, what happens and things when a bee visits a flower. Then they'll do a little question and answer section. And then this one is draw a bee drinking nectar from a flower. So I love how they incorporate things like that into the worksheets as well, so some drawing as well, which I think is really important for science because there's a lot of labelling and things involved in science. So this is our graphic organiser, so we can organise our information for our paragraph. So we're going to read the science article a second time, then write information in the graphic organiser that tells the order of events for a plant to be pollinated and reproduce. And then they get to do their final writing assignment, which in this case is the sequence. So they're going to write a sequence paragraph that explains what events must happen for a plant to be pollinated and reproduce. So we're going to include words such as first, then, next, and finally. So I love this so much. As I said, it is non-fiction, but I wanted something specifically for non-fiction, and I wanted it to be unit study style. So for example, if we were talking about flowers, and I could pull this out, you know, when we went to the chocolate factory, we did the one about chocolate. So I just really like those, and I would definitely recommend that series. The last one I'm going to tell you about, there's two actually. This first one is how to write a story. This is grade 1 to 3, and again that's very similar to the super sentence one in terms of different little topics that you can do. In this one, it's got types of stories, and some story writing centres in it as well. I'll just get you an example one. It's all step by step. You can do it in a group, a guided setting, or you can do an independent story, which I really like that. So again, that's where you've got your 1 to 3 grades. So you might decide you want to do it in a group, so you'll all do it together for your first graders, or you know, your younger ones. And then second grade might do the guided story where they get some extra help. And then for the third graders, so this is the guided story, so they've got questions that they need to answer to help them with their story. And then the independent story, when they're third grade, they'll answer the questions but in more depth, and then they actually write the story. So I really like that one. Again, it's something that you can use for several years if you've just you know, for different children, or you can do it together and each do their own level. And then the final thing that I really like from evanmoor is, I'm just going to get the title page. You can hear Shadow playing in the background. Daily 6 trait writing. So this is the grade 3 one, and I love this. It's fantastic. It has a week and a day. So it's week 1, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you don't have to use it that way. Again, I tend to use things where unit study style, so when we're doing a unit study and there's a specific writing convention, I guess you could say, that I want her to practice, then I'll go through and find something in here. But you could use it as a daily curriculum where you do, you know, the day 1, day 2, and that is how it's set out, but obviously you don't have to do it that way. So let's just find an example week, and it does increase with difficulty as you get through. So I'm just going to pick a random week. Okay, so we are doing voice. So this is examining different writing voices, and I'll just get the whole thing. So you'll have your teacher section for each of the days, telling you what to, you know, what the topic's about and everything else. You'll have examples of the worksheets on the other side, which is great for you. So this is the teacher version, so that's why you've got those. You can just buy the workbook where it's just got the lesson, I guess, the worksheet, but it's got none of the explanation. So what you could do is buy the teacher guide for you and buy your workbook for your child. But I always just buy the one. I just buy the teacher guide and I just take out her section. You know, that's fine. Particularly as it's a PDF. If you've got the book, I've still done it that way too, but it's just up to you. Okay, so for this one, they're reading the article. So some writing has a playful voice. It makes the writing fun to read. So that's our idea. So then they'll have a little article, and then there's some questions for them to go through. And then the next one for day 2 is some writing has a formal, serious sounding voice. And again, they'll get a piece of writing that demonstrates that point, and then they'll get to write some questions. Day 3, some writing has a voice that shows excitement. And again, there's an example of that, and then there's an activity here. In this case, they're finding how Roger showed excitement in his writing, finding 2 strong adjectives, 2 strong adverbs, and 3 punctuation marks that show excitement, and then write 2 sentences about an exciting game you like to play. Use a voice that shows your excitement. Then the rest for day 4 is you can write in a funny, serious, or exciting voice. And again, it's giving you think about your favourite game or toy. If you were going to write about it, what would you say? Answer the questions. So it's things like, if you were allowed to keep only one toy, what would it be? How would you describe the toy? Why would you choose this toy to write about? Did someone give it to you? Who and when? And why is this toy special? And then what voice would you use to write about your toy? Serious, exciting, or funny? So that's just an example of what it's like. But I really do like 6th Street writing too. So those are all my favourite Evermore products. Let me know what yours are, because I'd love to hear. I do also really like the critical thinking one, their critical thinking book, and their higher order thinking skills. I like those as well. So those are all my favourites. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.